Hi, I here. This is a reading for the sign of Libra. We're going to do a Celtic cross spread with a Thoth deck, and what we see on the bottom of that deck is going to represent what you don't see coming. And once we get an idea of what the general message of this reading is going to be, we're going to pull 3 cards from the shadow deck to see what's going on in your subconscious and to see if there's any further clarifications we might need. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so today we are tuning in to the sign of Libra. So if that is your sun, your moon, or your rising sign, or however else you choose to identify today with the sign of Libra, you can use that as a way to interpret the messages that are coming through. And if the details don't fit, that's okay. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Never try to force anything. And if none of the details are fitting, that's fine too. You can always check your other placements, where you can see what's going on in the world of other Libras. So let us see what we get today. So what things should we think about today? What things can we meditate upon? Is there anything that we should be looking out for? Any warnings that we might need? Are there any things we can look forward to? Things that we can try to work towards? What kind of messages do we need for those who are trying to tune in to the energy of Libra? What messages can we get for our Libras today? So that feels pretty good. Let's just do a little bit more of a shuffle here. Okay. So let's see what we get today. So in the present moment, we start with the Queen of Swords. So perhaps you're needing to reflect upon something and face some difficult truths. These are going to be for your best interest to address these head on and to not sort of beat around the bush or try to sugarcoat things. The Queen of Swords is an energy that's going to make you, or allow you perhaps, possibly more make you, face hard truths that you don't really want to look directly at yourself. But as I said, you need to do this in order to grow and improve. So this is not cold, hard truths to make you feel bad. These are difficult truths that need to be faced so you can move on and grow and, learn from whatever it is that you need to be facing directly. So let's get some context of what this is, what's going on around this energy. So it looks like it's productive. Facing these truths is going to give you some clarity and some insight that you might not otherwise have. Let's see what else is around it. We have the Hanged Man. We have the Seven of Wands, the Emperor. We have the Magician, the Two of Swords, the Three of Cups, the Empress, and the Aeon. So we'll check what's on the bottom of this deck after we get an idea of what the message of this reading is going to be. So let's just get a look and see what's happening here. So we have a decent bit of major arcana. We have the Hanged Man, the Magician, the Emperor, the Empress, and the Aeon. So that's a fair bit of major arcana. That's half of the spread is major arcana. So this is definitely a big message, whatever this is. This is perhaps some turning point for you. As I said, with the Queen of Swords, I think you're likely facing some hard inner truths. But again, with the Ace of Swords being what's crossing you, I have a feeling that this is a productive breakthrough. But let's get a sense of the other cards first before we dive too much into the story here. So we have 5 major arcana. In terms of our suits, we have 1, 2, 3 from the suit of swords, so 3 cards of air energy. We've got 1 from the suit of wands, that's our fire energy, and we have 1 from the suit of cups, a little bit of water energy, and That's it. It's mostly air, a little water, a little fire, and no earth, which is very interesting. So, okay. So, as I said, I think this is a message about self reflection. I think you're looking inward with whatever you've been going through lately, and you're really trying to get an inventory on how you feel about whatever things have been going on in your life. So, with the Queen of Swords, I think you are trying to grow, as I said, move forward with some difficult truths that you're having to face. And with the Ace of Swords, I think this, as I said, I think this is productive work. I think you are trying to get your head straight. Maybe you've been dealing with some difficult situations, or maybe you've had some choices that you've had to make. And in fact, with the Two of Swords down here being your general energy, I have a feeling you probably have been at some sort of crossroads of having to make some kind of decision. But rather than making this decision, you're just sitting and reflecting. Okay, so with the Hangman in your recent past, I don't think this is a. I think this has been going on. I get the sense that you probably came out of a particularly difficult or busy stage of your life. You've probably been working on a lot of things or going through a lot of difficult situations. And so now I think you're in the mode of sort of quietly reflecting upon what has happened before you decide what needs to be done next. And so that's why I think the Hanged Man energy here is you really internalizing whatever difficult things that you have just experienced in your recent past. And as you're sitting there reflecting upon these experiences, that's the Queen of Swords, is you trying to heal yourself as you do this constructive work and collect your thoughts so that you can refine your position on things with the Ace of Swords so that you can move forward clearly with whatever this next stage is going to be. And with the Seven of Wands here, this is the card of Valor. I think that as you're collecting your thoughts, you are getting a better sense of what the next stage or step needs to be with whatever it is that you're dealing with. So, as you're taking this time, it's constructive, productive time. It may not feel like you're getting as much done as you'd like, but you're sitting quietly and reflecting upon things and gaining insights that are going to give you a leg up in the future. The Seven of Wands is often a card of having the high ground, and as long as you stick to your guns and you stand by what you know to be true, you will be successful or victorious. And so that's what this quiet period is all about, is taking in and reflecting upon all of the things you've just gone through and really getting some clear insights about how you need to be moving forward with whatever situation you're dealing with. Now, it's kind of interesting down underneath everything here, we have the Emperor. So that, I think, is your inner power when you're sitting in your... Like, if we're having this sort of reflective moment, I kind of visualize this as you sitting, maybe not literally, but metaphorically, on your throne, and realizing that you've got a lot more power than you maybe give yourself credit for. I think as you're sitting and thinking through these things, part of the consequence is that you're going, as I said, you're going to be able to identify the right way to move forward and gain the high ground with whatever situations are in your future. And so this is you really, as you're cleaning your thoughts up, sort of having a more, embodying more of a commanding presence. You know, perhaps the recent situations that you've been involved in, perhaps you have felt somewhat like a victim, perhaps, or perhaps you have been in a situation where other people have been taking advantage of you. And I see this as you taking back your power and trying to reflect upon everything that's been going on so that you can really take things head on going forward. The Queen of Swords is going to make you really face the difficult realizations of the things that you've been going through. But once you have faced those things and you've looked yourself in the mirror and come to terms with whatever it is you're dealing with, that's going to give you this strength. You're going to really be able to take charge and really get more in control of whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life right now. So I see both the Emperor and the Seven of Wands as really embodying the positive, fiery growth that's coming from this quiet, reflective mental state that you're in right now. Almost like you're meditating and pulling in all of your energy and power so that you can then move forward with the strength that you know you really have. It's just maybe your gas tank, your sort of body's metaphorical gas tank has been running kind of low, and so now we're in recharge mode. And I really like this, that here in the bottom we have the Emperor, and up at the top we have the Magician. So I feel like this is sort of your inner strength and the power that you hold within yourself. And then the Magician is representing how you are meeting the world as you embody this power. So as you're pulling all of this strength inside of yourself, this is the confidence and the courage that you're going to have that's going to be what allows you to push through difficult situations and gives you the Seven of Wands energy. I see the Emperor as being, like I said, it's your internal courageous commanding self sort of growing and energizing. If you do any kind of breath work or any kind of meditation, this is like the power from your solar plexus really strengthening, so that you can command this Seven of Wands energy as you go to face the world, and then you're going to be able to interact with the world with the talents of the Magician. It's almost as if you're going to be so in command and in charge of your situation now that you've taken the time to reflect and recharge. You're going to have what's going to almost feel like magical powers to be able to make the things you want happen really happen. You're going to be able to manifest things that you want to create in your life because you're taking the time now to figure out how to do that properly and rebuilding the courage and strength that you may have lost sight of prior to this situation. So I really feel like this here is you quietly strengthening back up for the next battle. And so here, in your general energy with the Two of Swords here, again, I feel like you are in this quiet, reflective state of not knowing quite how to respond to whatever it is that you've just come out of, whatever difficult situations you've been going through. It's not clear exactly what the next stage is, but again, that's why we're doing all of this. We're reflecting so we can figure out what this next step is, and you're going to build that power, and you're going to be able to break this deadlock that has you sort of stuck in this quiet place. Once you got the power of the Emperor and the Magician, you move forward and you're going to be able to move towards things that are going to make your situation a lot more enjoyable. You're really going to come out victorious with whatever you're dealing with as long as you face it confidently and you use all of your talents to the best of your ability. That's going to bring you success and positive growth, and that's what's going to give you this abundance that's in your environment. You're going to be able to overcome whatever these challenges are not because you have some, metaphysical powers that are allowing you to, walk through walls or anything crazy like that, but because you're really taking stock of what your talents are, what it is about you that other people like, and that's what's going to empower you to be this Magician Emperor sort of hybrid that moves forward, breaks this barrier, and finds the success that he's looking for that you can then share and appreciate with other people. Now, what's kind of interesting is that your challenge is the Empress, and with this, you empowering the energy of the Emperor, it's the challenge being the Empress almost makes me think that perhaps the situation that you have recently been dealing with is about a partner or a business or some group of people that I think you were at one point really feeling like you were constructing the best version of yourself by working with these people or being in this relationship or whatever that is for you. And I think that's why the challenge here is the Empress, is because it's almost like you have maybe got a missing piece and you're not really sure how to get that missing piece back. And so, I feel like whatever this difficult situation was, I feel like it likely came from you either walking away from or being separated from something that really made you feel connected and whole. And that's why you're in Hangman energy, sort of starting this whole thing out in the recent past, because you're really reflecting upon what has been lost and trying to figure out how do we grow and recover from this. And so you're in reflective mode to really look at things from a different perspective and gain some insight on how do we get back our power after it feels like we've lost this missing piece. But again, I think if you take this time, you're going to be able to regain that energy. It may take a while, it may be a slow process, but you're going to be able to get back up and move forward with whatever it is that you're facing. Okay, so you'll break out of this deadlock, move towards this positivity, and you'll be able to overcome whatever it is that you feel like you're missing. Whatever the Empress represents for you, I get the feeling you have lost this and you're trying to get back to that. And I think you will, it just is going to take time. Now, why do I think you're going to do this? Well, it's because the final card appears, the Aeon. Whatever this difficult situation was for you, it's likely this is going to feel, looking back on it, as if it were some trial that you needed to get through in order to really feel empowered by your own strength. If the issue here is that you feel like you have a missing piece and you're trying to get back to whatever that missing piece was, I think one of the insights, the clarity that I suspect is the Ace of Swords, is you realizing that you have the entire, everything you need inside of you. If it feels like you're missing a piece, you're looking at the situation incorrectly. That's why we have the Hanged Man trying to look at this from a different perspective. What you're going to realize is that your power comes from within. You have the power of the Emperor, and you have the gifts of the Magician all inside of you. You don't need an external person or thing or opportunity to give you that power. It all comes from within. And that's why we're recharging. Once you recharge, you can move past this, and that's what the Aeon is representing, is this trial by fire that you are trying to go through right now of realizing your own strength doesn't require you to be built. You don't need to be dependent on other things or people to be able to tap into that energy. And that's the lesson that I think you're going to learn when all is said and done here. So let's see what we don't see coming on the bottom of the deck. Futility, the Seven of Swords. Yeah, so I think you're deceiving yourself. I think you are, while you're in this headspace, this quiet recharging period, I really think the challenge of what you really need to overcome is realizing that you don't need an external empress. The Emperor and the Empress are sort of both two sides of you that you already have. You just aren't tapping into it. So with this Futility card, I see this is you looking inward and trying to figure out, what am I missing? What am I missing? And you're sort of doing this internal negative inward, like, self-inflicted pain on yourself that you don't need to really be going through. I mean, it's good that you're going through the process of reflecting on what you need and how you need to move forward, but I think it is being done in somewhat of a destructive nature. I really think that you're deceiving yourself. You're making yourself feel like you're less than you are when you don't have to. Again, I really think you have all the power that you need inside of you. You just have to get back in touch with feeling that power, and trying to sit here and run through all of these things that you've recently been through and be like, man, I messed that up. Man, that didn't go well. Oh, I could have done that so much better. You want to let go of all of that kind of thinking. That's what this card is representing. So what you don't see coming is how really the thing that is holding you back the most is yourself. And once you learn to appreciate your own power and to feel comfortable in it, then you're really going to be able to step forward and grow. And then whatever the Empress represents for you, you don't need to go out and search for it. It will come to you because you will naturally be embodying the Emperor energy, and the things that you need to accomplish in your life and the things you need to work on will almost naturally work themselves out as you do the work of fixing yourself. So that's the general message I'm getting from this. So, all right, let's see what the Shadow deck has to say for us today. So we're going to pull 3 cards from here to see what's going on in your subconscious, which, seeing as this reading is all about you getting sort of stuck in your head and thinking things over, I have a feeling this will be a constructive message that we get from these cards. I expect to get a little bit more clarity or clarification, but I suspect that really it's just going to really further emphasize this idea of not attacking yourself so much as trying to be confident and embody your own power. Okay, don't drain your own energy by attacking yourself. You know, there's enough things in the world, enough enemies you're going to meet up against, that you don't need to be doing that to yourself. That's the lesson I get from this, at least. As always, if there are any messages that you're sensing from these that's different or above and beyond what I'm saying, you know, always use your intuition and let the messages come to you as they need to. And just giving you a sense of what the cards are sort of saying to me. And, you know, hopefully that helps you with the process of interpreting them yourself. All right, so let's see what we got. We have the Queen of Spheres, the Two of Cups, and the Two of Spheres. Okay. Yeah, so with the Queen of Spheres, I think you're probably thinking about your personal wealth, your finances, your resources. I think while you're in this quiet place, you're trying to make sure that whatever you're moving into going forward, that you're able to live comfortably. I think you want to make sure that you're not making the same mistakes that you have made in the past. So when you're doing all of this energy, the Queen of Swords is helping you take a look at yourself and face difficult truths. But as I said, don't take that too far. Don't make those difficult truths lead to self-destructive thinking. Use it as a way to realize what to work on, not as a way to realize what's wrong with you. But it's all about framing, really. But with the Queen of Spheres, this is usually represented by a woman who is looking back at her life, learning from the lessons of the past, and learning to live comfortably and appreciate the things that she's built and accomplished in her life. And so I think this is the space you want to be moving into. And I think here with the Two of Cups, what it is you're wanting to move into is something that's going to allow you to feel comfortable, something that's going to allow you to feel grounded, and something that's going to make you feel emotionally connected with someone or something else. I get the sense that there might be a little bit of a relationship message hiding in here, at least for some people watching, maybe not for everyone. But with the difficulty being the Empress and having the Two of Cups in your subconscious, I think you're really thinking about how you're connecting with other people really heavily right now. And with the Two of Spheres, I think you're trying to understand how those connections are going to look going forward as your life changes, and how your situation, whatever that is for you, currently develops, and as things sort of change in the future. Are you still going to be able to find the connections that you're really desiring? Are you going to be able to find the love that you're looking for? Again, not necessarily romantic love, but just really connecting with the people and the things in your life as the world sort of changes and evolves and your situation is always moving forward. So you want to build a comfortable foundation. You want to learn from the past. You want to make sure you're able to really connect with things moving forward. And you want to make sure that you're doing this in a way that's adaptable, because I think you're also concerned with having this whole situation play out again. You don't want to have to keep, succeeding and then failing, succeeding and failing. And although that will always be the way life is, you want to make sure that with the Two of Spheres, I'm seeing you as wanting to develop the skills to be able to juggle difficult situations, so that even when a failure comes your way, it doesn't knock you completely off your horse and you have to get back up and start all over again. So that's why you're looking for something to connect to that's going to allow you to feel grounded, and it's going to be adaptable as future difficulties arise. So, and I think, again, I really think the idea of this reading is that you have that power within you. You've got the power of the Emperor and the Magician. You just have to tap into it and realize that it's not that something is missing, it's just that something is essentially dormant inside of you. And once you tap into that, that's what's going to allow you to move forward. So stop looking so much at what is it that's wrong with me. You don't want to be doing these self deceptive tactics that are making you feel lower than you really are. Embody your power, tap into it, break out of this stalemate, or maybe not stalemate, break out of this deadlock, and move forward from this Two of Swords into this happy Three of Cups energy. You'll find the connections you need as long as you approach the world confidently and with your best foot forward. And that's why you will then be able to move on to the next Aeon. But what you don't see coming in your subconscious here at the bottom of the shadow deck is the Page of Swords. So that's interesting. So yeah, again, we have this idea of futility. I think you've always got this perpetual risk of cutting yourself down and selling yourself short. And if you really want to be adaptable to difficulties moving forward, always face them with confidence. And even if you don't initially believe it, approach every situation with the confidence of, I'm going to get through this. I know I'm going to be able to succeed. I don't know yet how, but if you approach situations with that positive attitude, then with just a little bit of reflection, you'll be able to figure out the solutions to at least solve the situation as best as possible. So, make sure that you really are working on yourself and not letting your thoughts be destructive. Let the air energy be something that's going to allow you to positively work on yourself, and then you can take that mental energy and channel it like the Emperor to move things forward and to command the situations rather than letting those situations sort of bring you back down again. So hopefully this makes some sense. Hopefully this was helpful. At the very least, I hope you enjoyed this experience. So as always, please subscribe and like the video if you have not already. If there's anything you'd like to discuss, any things of your situation you want to share or talk about, or any feedback you want to give, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I try to respond to all of those as best I can. And if you know anyone else that would find this or any of my other videos helpful, then please feel free to share them and let other people get what they need from these messages. And let's just try to bring a little bit more positivity into the world. So yeah, so again, don't let your thoughts weigh you down. Don't let difficult situations really keep you stuck. Make sure you're working on yourself. Stay in a positive and empowered mindset, and you're going to be able to really get back on track. And I have faith that you'll be able to work through whatever this is, if this reading is for you. So, but yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and hope you have a great rest of your day.